performer. I don't think he was the big issue, and I thought that they ran into a bunch of problems around their overall culture of practice and who they were putting on the stage.
Both of these teams here trying to change things around going into the summer split. We'll see which one of them finds more success as they dive into Champions Select. Kobe and Freak, take it away.
Thank you very much, Dash. We are here for the third game of the day. Once again, it's the opening day of the LCS Summer Split. Both these teams can get their start with a win here, and it's a good tune-up game. I feel like both these were squads that did miss playoffs in the spring split. They both switched out a player and think this is now the combination that will win us the games. On my side, I think these are both good choices for the teams. I think I have high hopes for both these squads.
Yeah, they talked about it a lot on the analyst test. This is battle of the changes. These are teams that needed to make changes after last split, and they both did so. In addition to the new players, Amazing and Ruin on both teams, I also consider, Wiggly fairly fresh onto the lineup, coming from their academy roster as well as Saligo. Both those guys already played, on the starting roster, but have still looked like they need time to work with the rest of the team and really meld. Again, though, a lot of solo lane bans, as we're seeing, the Aurelia, Kali, Silas, and Rise all taken off. Plus, new Aatrox.
Yep.
Crumbs predicted it after that first game, and probably not going to see the healing monster anymore.
We will see this special kind of monster. Cats in general. Yuumi going to be locked in. She was banned before, but now she will be played. Biofrost on a cat.
Did you see the smirk on Biofrost's face, too, as he's able to lock it in?
Yep.
Yuumi, very relaxing champion. Just attach yourself to Stixxay, fire off your skill shots, and for the laning phase, you don't have to pop off too much. I do like the fact, though, that you do have to get off of your marksman sometimes to get your auto attack so you can get your shield.
And your
that
mana
is a
back,
very,
yeah,
it's a very important part. Get your mana, get your shield off, and getting to know that cooldown as it changes over your level, by the way, is definitely one of the finer points to Yuumi, and we'll see how well that is used in trades. We've also, Azael was talking about it on the dive, but jumping off to block a skill shot, and then jumping back on. So you do have some health you can use in those skirmishes. You don't have to just rely on your marksman.
Yeah, Yumi's okay on that. The only stat that she has that's actually super low is magic resist. She's actually absurdly low MR. Her armor's fine. Her health is only slightly down, so can tank some if needed.
Corki is a good answer.
Yeah, there we go. We got a magic image bot lane, but it's already Xayah picked up here. Sivir gonna go up alongside, and though she is a pretty short-range champion, can spell shield some of the engaged tools and might just stay alive here. It's certainly pretty good for early team fighting. Yuumi, of course, very good at also, once you get into team fights, more supporting the melee champions and hopping onto champs like Sejuani and frontlining with them.
And this, Yuumi is a very new champion. I haven't seen that many combinations, but I have played against the Yuumi Sivir. And while a lot of people are focused on the Yuumi Ezreal poke combinations, Sivir with the Boomerang Blade and the Ricochet takes out the wave, and Yuumi is able to poke them under turret. Is so incredibly annoying. So we'll see if you get some vision, you get some control around that bottom lane. A Sivir Yuumi can be very, very oppressive.
All right, well, you got the kind of expected once the Xayah was locked in, the Xayah Rakan duo. They did win on the TL side, and now it's Bang and Aphromu's turn to pick that one up. Definitely a duo that on paper should be incredible. Sadly for them, had a pretty lackluster spring split, but I still believe in the pedigree of those two players. 100 Thieves, a squad that some people had as like a top 3 team coming into the year, and it wasn't quite there, but we'll see what summer looks like for them as we now get into the second round of bans. Jace and LeBlanc taken off the table.
Yeah, I mean, that's a team that, because of the star power that you look at when you look at the roster, very high expectations. Amazing coming off some time in Europe, some time on the desk, some time coaching, jumped around a little bit, not quite sure where he's going to land as far as being back on the actual LCS stage, but Jarvan, definitely a jungler right now that has a lot of options. One of the few that can still go for the early gank pre-Scuttle Crabs. You can still just go red buff level 2 and try and get that early pressure off on one of your solo lanes, especially can be effective. So let's see if they have any early targets here for him to go after to try and snowball ahead. Typically, though, we've seen Someday be the focus early and Bang be the focus late.
Yep.
Someday's definitely done quite well in his lane, so let's see what he can get after these bans.
Yeah, 100 Thieves banned away Nico, which then made CLJ go, maybe they want to play Vladimir since AD Nico was good into that champion. So they added that one on as one of the mage champions, but you can still play Rumble. Lots of metagame top laners are out there. We've seen Rumble top quite a bit now very recently in both Collegiate and NA Academy. Cool to see this champion back in the metagame. One of my favorite top laners overall, and that's going to be a very spicy one. I like the champ a lot.
Yeah, definitely a lot of early power. Can push very effectively, clear through some trades as well. And someday definitely well-versed on the champion, but it's also flexible. So Soligo could take it up.
Absolutely the case right there. The very standard Warwick hover for Stixxay, his favorite champion. Hovers that one pretty much every single game. Grabs Ori for Power of Evil. We'll see if it's Nash's Truth or not. Who knows? He's going to roll the dice, pick whatever he wants, and now we got to figure out what is the top lane pick going to be. Odds are it's Rumble. You're right. It's still flexible. Could go to mid lane instead. They got to kind of keep track of both those matchups. Kennen in a very safe blind, and that seems very likely for us here. AP versus AD can be decided, and that is going to be Kennen locked in.
Yeah, Kennen can just focus on the minions. He can stay out of the Flame Spitter range. Should be able to use the extra speed boost to try and avoid harpoons as well. And also brings an equally effective AP AoE ultimates to those team fights. If you look at the squad that CLG have drafted here, Sejuani, frontline, very standard here with strong support and backline threats for later in the game. So very clear, strong team fighting here for the CLG side. Meanwhile, with the Azir rounding that one out, looks like 100 Thieves will answer in kind. You have the combo with the Hot Pot, Rumble, Jarvan ultimates on top of each other. Azir, Xayah for later. So definitely have more possibilities similar to what we saw last game.
Definitely could be pretty scary stuff right then. I do like the late game team fight here on 100 Thieves, but of course, Sivir scaling plus Orianna scaling very good as well. There's no, I feel like, obvious team fight winners, but lots of really strong points of power kind of across the board. I think this will be a very exciting game. Gonna be a lot of fighting. Should be pretty fun here as we wait to see. Shouldn't be any more swaps. Kennen and Orianna gonna stay where they are. Azir, Rumble gonna stay where they are. These are the lineups for sure. Final remarks from the coaching staff. And we get to see the very beginning glimpses of were these changes the right ones? Were they enough to turn the fates around? CLG famously last year missed playoffs in this split as well. A bit surprising, but it did happen. Hoping that now with a new top laner, no longer with Darshan, that'll be enough. 100 Thieves hoping that a switch in jungle, bringing Amazing back. Last seen in North America 5 years ago on TSM. Went to World's top 8 then. Back in NA now, hoping to bring 100 Thieves somewhere good.
Super excited for the bottom lane specifically as well. With the Xayah Rakan into the Yuumi lane. Now it is a Sivir, so the spell shield is going to be annoying for those all-ins, but that is the idea. Try and attack them. Maybe they combine it with some jungle attention. Only the early game will tell. Ping's already coming down, though. We might have some ventures out for a possible invade. Grouped up CLG. Looks like they're going straight mid with everybody. That's got to be a look at an invade.
But Soligo, if he plays this right, he's going to be able to spot them and know, yep, okay, there's Power of Evil.
Only one shows.
Kiwi pushes them off, and the rest of the squad can go right through the fog. Afro's going to go inside this pit and look for something, but there's a chance he can get surrounded. He's not in a very safe location right now.
Definitely can jump over the wall. And they could have actually made their way all the way into this jungle during that time, but they have not. I like that we also got to lie in anticipation. Similar to 100 Thieves experience there. Very authentic.
Definitely approved.
Now they're rewinding a little bit here. Invades for the deep ward. But actually, let's see. Is it just the one sweeper start? Both sides with the sweepers. Jarvan as well. And with the zombie ward, they get a little bit of protection.
All right, so nothing too dangerous here. I do always really appreciate sweeper starts level 1. I think they make for very interesting mind games and create possibilities here.
And especially for junglers, one trick you can do is actually start with the trinket ward, go out and place it, then recall before minions spawn, grab up your sweeper, so that after you're clear, when you're going for your first gank, you'll also be able to use a sweeper to ensure that they don't have vision of you, plus get the value of that trinket. Definitely useful, at least for solo queue.
Now, this is the first Yuumi we are seeing in the LCS, and as Stats told me, we have our runes ready, so it's damage. It is Comet, it's Mana Flow Band, it's Scorch, it's Absolute Focus. Also, because she is support with fairly low health and is a damage-based champion, Cut Down is a very important pickup. Cut down is actually very, very strong. That is presence of mind, not mana flow ban, because of course it couldn't be. But it's a lot of mana and it's a lot of damage. That is the point of that champion.
Yeah.
You max Q, you hit people hard.
And you can see what we were talking about before. You don't always want to stay attached to your AD carry. Biofrost wants to go off and get that passive auto attack. Then jumping on with the shield, is able to get a good trade there with Stixxay.
Of course, level 2, yep, you max Q, you max the heal, which is E right afterwards. You look pretty good for this one. Looks like a little bit of poke. Just keeps updating the spell thief's damage.
Push is also very effective here, as you mentioned in Champ Select with the Sivir. Even just early on, they get control of the wave. Biofrost is going for auto attack trades into the Q trades as well, while Stixxay focuses mostly on the minions.
Yep. Also want to point out, of course, it is heal exhaust. You don't need flash when you're untargetable for 85% of the game, so that is also one thing to point out. Have seen Ignite a fair bit in solo queue as well, but it's the less aggressive version where it's actually about healing for the Sivir. This is, of course, TP on Sivir, so she's going to be really focused on staying up in the lane, keeping the farm going, and now Jarvan.
That's what we were looking for, some jungle action early. Rakan can go for the all-in engage. Soon as Amazing just wraps around. It is a pushed-up wave. They are very far forward. Will Aphromoo move?
Okay, there's the spot. If they can get out of the range of Aphromoo. Nice flash gets away from Amazing, and that is Summoner Spell down, though worthwhile gank.
Yeah, definitely time efficient. Bang also didn't have to lose too much CS at the turret. That's one of the drawbacks sometimes of ganking a super pushed up lane. If you fully commit for it, then your AD ends up losing CS in exchange. But in this case, it's just Amazing going in, gets a very valuable flash, the only one of the lane off of Stixxay, and already you can see the change in how you have to play the lane. There's no flash. You also have no vision this early on in the game. So they're going to have to respect it, back off the wave.
Makes it scary. So we look now at the mid lane right here as Power Reel battles with his opposing member in Soligo. Now in the top lane is Ruin with the quasi counter pick. There's an expectation that Rumble stop, not a guarantee, and puts in the Kennen, gets the Kleptomancy, and is doing pretty okay up there, but it's pretty equal in farm. This is a Rumble who's been able to farm so far.
All right, first recall for Amazing is going to find him on top side since he did the red clear here. Challenging Smite has been picked up. He showed bot, so there was a little bit of counter jungling as Wiggly was able to get one extra camp. That means that Wiggly has more to farm.
Bottom side. Good jukes away from the knockup, but Stixxay is out of mana, pushed down a little bit. That was a pretty good all-in.
Yep.
And Stixxay is going to have a hard time laning now. Gets to knock down a couple of minions. Under turret, they should not be dove. They already knew that they saw Jarvan top.
Yeah, Stixxay's going to get some mana back here, too, off the level up. Maybe he can clear out this wave. Bang. So much damage to this turret. They get a plate by themselves. Very good for the 100 Thieves duo. Denying a decent amount of the CS and finding a effective route onto Stixxay.
Good pullback as well. Of course, Stixxay can still burn his own teleport. We know that his flash was burned by the Jarvan gank from earlier, and he's going to go right back in. Actual money is going to put him at enough for a pickaxe, so he'll be reasonable here. Extra potion control ward comes in and won't miss more than, I think, maybe 2 minions.
Yeah, definitely good for the 100 Thieves duo to be able to push up so they can walk back during the timing window of the teleport. Usually your teleport can really desync that and give the extra advantage over to the Sivir side. But they push it up fairly quickly and are already walking back, so should be able to make it down there pretty quickly.
Yeah, better recall for Bang as well. Of course, 10 more CDR by having Warhammer instead. So that's actually pretty solid. Yuumi, of course, getting to cheat back in by just using you and me and, piggybacking the teleport.
Very curious to see, again, if we have repeated ganks from Amazing on the bottom side. It's a very effective flash to burn, as you could already see the instant results where how you have to play the lane. Sivir has to play more cautiously. Biofrost cannot harass as much because Yuumi definitely is very vulnerable when her AD carry doesn't have flash. However, they also call Wiggly down. And this defensive vision that we've seen just now placed in the minimap by CLG is a very good answer. All these three trying to defend against the Jarvan on your map now. You're able to see the Jarvan and force Amazing back into his own territory.
Quick flag and drag away. Has mana regen as long as he's in the river or his jungle, so that's going to be just fine. Once again, found though. This time it's on cooldown. Going to find some decent damage towards him. Has the stun available, but is there a squad around? Nice equalizer, buys a bit of space. Now Pee-wee looking for the play. Flashes away from an ult that doesn't come in just yet. Ruin going by as well. They're really going far and Amazing. Trying to live, gets hit a little bit. One more auto attack and first blood goes to Power of Evil.
Amazing just assumes that Sejuani is gone since he saw him exit into the brush and has left, but Wiggly stays around with eyes on the prize. He finds the engage on the Jarvan and CLG First Blood on the top part of the map. This is also opening up bottom side since they know that the jungler's gone. Yeah, so he chases him in here. He's got no vision of Power of Evil. Orianna gets the first walk over. Amazing thought he was safe because Someday on Rumble was in the river, but both solo laners hard commit to this chase. Power of Evil and Ruin run straight past their counterparts to get the autos off necessary. And it is the last Orianna auto in the air that finds that kill and is able to set up First Blood for Orianna with the 10 CS lead too.
Control Ward, Biofrost plus 30 gold onto that one. Gets hit by Aphromoo, but it's a pretty reasonable trade right there. As they're just gonna trade the vision regardless. Some quick wave clear from Stixxay, but yeah, Aphro's gonna feel safe doing all of this. And that's now a darkened river. We have a 1,400 gold difference in this game, though. This is pretty substantial. Looking for who the actual leads are, and it's hard to tell. It's kind of spread apart. Yeah, top lane's a fair bit of it.
It's a lot of these solo laners and junglers.
It's Kleptomancy being a lot of it because the farm difference is only 4 CS, but that obviously that First Blood means half of it, and that's good stuff out of CLG.
Yeah, definitely looking good for the top part of the map. Rumble Ultimate was also used. So not only did the First Blood go over, Flash is blown from the jungler, but Rumble Ultimate's down, mean that the Ruin and Ultimate Flash is a lot less punishable until you get that cooldown back. So now he might be able to look for it. Amazing's bottom side, though, has been able to get behind the vision line of CLG. Let's see if this actually converts into a kill. Blast Cone, was that taken over? Nope. It's going to call off the play. Goes into the Dragon Pit to clear out some vision instead.
Scar's been popped by Azir, sees the board. Okay, we'll do that instead. You know what? Maybe we can go Infernal off this if our duo can keep pushing. Does pull them over. They can fight for ward control at the very least, but Wiggly's nearby. Does have Volt, pops it, gets the first stun. Here comes the rest of it, and they're going to have it. Final chapter sets it up. Wiggly on the board now for his first kill.
Wiggly, back-to-back plays here. No hesitation from the CLG jungler. Sees them going to try and clear the ward, immediately nails Aphromoo with the ultimate, and that stun duration is long enough for Yuumi to get 3 charges off of the ultimate. If you hit 3 waves, that roots you, and that is a dead Rakan.
Plenty of damage up with their hits finish the entire thing. 280 max damage on a single target. Pretty good for rank 1 ultimate.
Yeah, take a look at this. On the control ward, he knows that he's out of vision, so Aphromoo doesn't really have any time to react to that. You can only see the projectile right as it crests the little wall there, so he's not able to flash out. And with that one landing, all the follow-up damage comes through.
Beautiful stuff right there. Hits the 3 waves, 1.75 second root, and in a good spot. So, Infernal though still going to be answered by 100 Thieves. They're trying for this one. They've got enough ward control that Wiggly would have to kind of...
He's got flash. He could flash.
Yeah. Q over, flash out.
It's a bit risky.
Yep. They decide they're not going to take the risk right there. So, you have a gold lead to CLG, and it's a pretty good one at that. That's actually pretty solid, but Infernal Drake's going to answer that somewhat. Maybe about a third of the difference is shortened there, but this is CLG off to a pretty good start. And Wiggly, you mentioned he was one of the newer additions to CLG. This is his, I believe, second split with the squad, and this is a very good start in this game. He is the reason that CLG is winning largely.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are looking for him to be active, and he has not shown any hesitation on the stage in summer. Definitely paid out for CLG so far. Getting Power of Evil, a nice and healthy lead for himself with that First Blood chase, as well as the CS here for himself. Ruin on the top side, though, versus Someday.
Yeah, really big hits there. Actually got an empowered melee auto.
Oh, they're going for the dive.
This could be really big. Feather Call is gone as well. There's going to be a lot of CCs rooted. He's taking 1 million damage, and Stixxay on the board now as well. 3 assists in for Wiggly. Motivation is there, but now a 2-on-1 toward Power of Evil. He's going to have a hard time dealing with this one. Does go down. Amazing shows up for the kill just to make sure it happens.
You see that a lot of times. People are hesitant to run past the tower out with the rest of the team, but BOE taking that route back towards the mid lane with no flash costs him his life. Stick with the team after your play. Even a successful play, a lot of people just start to forget about the rest of the members on the map. Yep. And CLG give one back. That is big for the side of 100 Thieves. Unfortunately for them, actually, the kill credit went to Amazing, the Jarvan, not the biggest. Let's take another look at how it started out, though. And this is a huge setup once again onto Aphromoo. They find the Yuumi route to start it all out this time. And Power of Evil, nobody wanted to stick around at the turret, or maybe there wasn't communication. Yeah. Hey, take a turret shot, 1 turret shot for me to to get me a safe path out. And he has to walk back through the rotation. On the top side, Someday gets teleported on.
Couple of burn up for the top side. Flash again, looking for the stun, does get that one there. So Stixxay looking for the slow through the Yuumi and can't find that one. So safety for Someday. And it will be the Herald picked up now. 100 Thieves right in the face of Wiggly.
Oh my
Is he going to make this happen? Does have the smite. And it's going to go to Amazing, but now he's going to go right in. Rooted in place, has reinforcements though, finds a stun. Now Amazing's in a bad spot, has to flash his way out as well.
Wow, teleport used on top side, roams for the top side for CLG, and a little bit of sleight of hand here. Fun 100 Thieves, they steal away the Rift Herald while that play is happening. Can they get the reset off? CLG trying to get some turret plate money in answer.
We're looking for it right now. The 2-on-2 feels fairly close, but FFP for done for Stixxay is a pretty big deal. Gonna find a bit more of a slow. Not meaning a lot towards the turret though. Looks like these two marksmen will be able to split farm without too much issue. Bit more towards Bang, can't find the Q over the top.
Yeah, you can see the combo though. It's the same idea as the Ezreal Yuumi that we talked about. Yuumi gets the slow, then the Boomerang Blade tries to go out to answer up, but they've missed it, I think,
Yeah,
three
Bang
times.
dodged 3 in a row.
Yeah, 3 times in a row here. Aphromoo and Bang doing a good job of splitting and then being able to get out of the way.
It's been pretty well played. So the wave still being pushed in though, and that's part of why he went Doran Shield at the very beginning of the game. And once again, gonna find some Afro. Nice jobs. Tanks the first one, jumps right back out. So yeah, 100 Thieves are playing the matchup out pretty well, but with all the extra help that the CLG duo has been getting, that's 100 Thieves down in farm and down in pressure.
Meanwhile, mid lane, Power of Evil still with a very healthy CS lead here on the Orianna. Has both summoners back. Farming away, I'm most curious about where 100 Thieves are going to try and use this Rift Herald, because there's only 20 seconds left on the turret plates. Amazing has yet to pop it, so I don't think they're going to have an opening to get the big cash in on the Rift Herald activation. And it's just going to be for turret damage rather than turret plate money. Ruin gets heavily chunked by Someday.
This is big damage right there. Finds another slow. The ult on top, and this is going to be a solo kill. Someday is back in action a day early, and now some damage across the top. Big damage from Final Shaft. They're forcing them to push right back out, but here comes the rest of the squad. Here's the projectile. That's a slow. The flash in for a bit more, and Bang. He's going to try to run, but what else does he have? He's got a root. Oh! The ball, but it's the clockwork wind up, a single auto attack that knocks him down. The turret will fall bot lane. There's still pressure on both sides of the map, but it's still CLG so far ahead. 3,500 gold.
Yeah, CLG make the big play on top side, but because there's Rift Herald, you actually get 2 turrets for 1. Well, they're not sticking around for number 2, actually. Just doing the Krugs instead and getting the recall off rather than finishing turret number 2 with the Rift Herald. So, in the end, huge victory for CLG there as they found the big kills on top side with the rotation for Power of Evil and Wiggly going up to supplement that Stixxay Baofrost 2v2. Here's another look at Ruin. New guy on the roster for CLG. Against Someday, he lands every harpoon, I believe. Yeah, he's able to get the burn from the Flamethrower off of those slows, and then the Rumble Ultimate burns it down long enough, even though he gets stunned up. He's got his Flamethrower pointed in the right direction, and the Yuumi Ultimate, he lands every single wave of it here, gets the double roots, gets the 100% of the damage, also buys enough time for Wiggly and Power of Evil to roam all the way up. Even with the flash, the slow with the chilling smite allows him to get into range, and Power of Evil with the heal under tower. Very same area, a single auto attack from Orianna finds another kill for himself.
Ooh, nice shoot right there. Gets away from that first big stun, and the quick heal goes over to Wiggly. It's CLG looking to fight over the bottom river. They are, by all rights, ahead right now. They got extra vision now as well. A quick heal on the killer of Scuttlecrab. They say, this is our river, this is our Drake. 100 Thieves seem to agree. They're going to push in mid instead.
Yeah, gonna try and rush down this tower here. Let's see if they can get it. Orianna would be the only one to defend. They pull off of the push. Dragon then picked up, and now they have to be a little bit careful. They hesitated on that mid lane push. Nobody else able to add any damage, so it is a full victory by CLG here.
Yeah.
Complete control of the map, and they've even been able to clear out almost all of the control wards. There's just that one left in the topside river, but the defenses are quickly being weakened on the side of 100 Thieves.
And I like actually to see this out of Biofrost. Now, Athenes is not an unsurprising pickup here at all, but to actually be building towards ability power items in this champion, Athenes then into usually the Ardent Sensor next is, I think, the most typical build. But is this actually a champion who has really good AP ratio, scales up AP quite a lot, and actually gets extra damage out of a build like this for further Q poke and further being a threat?
And is already a super annoying sustain champion. You talked about the heal summoner spell collection, the Zumi's charges, with also the Athenes, like it's an incredible amount of sustain for a Sivir, which is such a powerhouse in the late game 5-on-5. That's already difficult to take down with the spell shield. With this attachment here, it's going to be incredibly difficult for 100 Thieves, and you have to see a super good engage from Aphromoo into an ultimate from Someday. That combination to try and have a chance in the later game 5-on-5 situations. Amazing on the Jarvan can really help them with a Cataclysm, but it's getting bullied out right now and chunked down. You can see CLG are just on the warpath.
Yep. Biofrost has done more damage with Comet than Someday has with the same keystone right there. So certainly has been getting a lot done. And we wait to see what happens next. 4,000 gold will separate these teams. A very large lead early in the thing. They find a stun, and Amazing is gone right away. The ult barely does anything against them. That equalizer does nothing at all. And look at this, the wave being cleared mid lane under fire.
Yeah, definitely walking into that one. No vision in the brush. Wiggly lands the easy ultimate. That is a kill for CLG, and pressure across the top side of the map. Mid gets pushed in, and they rotate up to that turret.
They find a slow. They might find a stun as well. It's a flash over the wall. Somebody barely staying alive, but look at this. It is CLG in control of everything.
Last split, CLG had one of the slowest average game times. This game is just a steamroll. We're only 18.5 minutes ahead, and they already have full control of the top half of the map. Turret is down. Large lead accruing here, and they are not stopping. This Yuumi pick especially is working out.
Beautiful stuff right now, and the turrets are going to stay at half HP. These extra turrets will not fall just yet, but it is Carnage Gaming stealing away a red buff and the scuttles and everything else as well. They are certainly doing great right now. Looking to reverse their fate from last year, and
there we go.
Even this split as well, the spring one, and looking now the 2-on-1 towards Someday. He is ultless, flashless as well. They're going to have a shockwave, an extra stun on top of it, and Amazing might try to help, but what's he going to do? His teammate's already dead, Flag and drags away.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do. Full tank Jarvan, just going to watch him go down. 2v1 there on the top side. Power of Evil gets the kill again. That is 3 for Orianna now. Fairly large bounty on his head. Aphromoo actually running through enemy lines here. Biofrost, I think he got a vision of him, but Rune doesn't want to actually commit to it, and CLG will take the damage on mid.
And let's see if they can knock more of this one down. Bang is here to help wave clear. You can see Stixxay wanting to play a bit safe, has to be respectful, but now Soligo gonna ult back Ruin and buy a bit of space. Trades ult for ult, Flask going away.
Yeah, Q not landing means there's not going to be a stun coming through, so no further commitment here. Cleanse is available as well for Soligo, so it probably was just going to be Summoner Spell burn at best.
Yeah.
Wiggly, though, looking for Amazing once again. This guy has been the story of the game. Sejuani completely opening up opportunities for the entire team. Rush control has resulted in map control.
Definitely agree with this one. This has been CLG pretty much from minute 3 in the lead here overall. There was a small landing phase lead for the 100 Thieves duo, which is heartening for their fans, but otherwise, this has been all CLG all the time. Just only glimmers of 100 Thieves doing something decent here as mid lane is knocked away again, and Legal will rely on his Ascended turret to keep that one under a bit of control. Grabs the blue, blocks right back over.
All right, let's see if they can scale for late game here, because that is really the only option left to 100 Thieves. They have some backline possibilities, you know, with the Azir, with the Xayah. Rumble is really the one that's going to be the determining factor if they can handle any of these mid-game team fights, but it has to be with a defensive look. Otherwise, CLG already have so much power with a level 11 now on Wiggly as well. They can really pull the trigger on the initiation that they want. Just Sivir ultimate and Sejuani goes in to set it up for the Kennen. So they really have to be moving around the map away from CLG to try and trade objectives rather than fight over objectives and then defensively hug their towers.
Magic been picked up now for Ruin. Team fight damage comes in, but really only the Void Staff is effective against the Jarvan. No one else is really building much MR, but As they move around the map, 100 Thieves able to pick up this top lane outer turret. Infernal probably better at this stage of the game, though. It's
Wiggly's looking
ahead. Look for the stun act. We're going to find Sligo. Actually, burns the flash instead of cleanse, which maybe he would have still had to care about the slows, but regardless, mid lane tier 2 is going to fall, and CLG continue to get more outside of these map plays, as the duo lane must now recall a bit later and arrive late to the play.
Yep, tower down again. CLG actually pulling Stixxay over. Baron pings already. Even with the Scuttle Crab taken by 100 Thieves, I don't think you need to do that. I mean, the game is at a very quick pace, but no reason for CLG to risk something like that with the lead that they have right now. Okay, so there were just pings, maybe a couple of wards or something getting cleared out rather than actually forcing it. Reset will occur, and they can use all of that money now to convert into items. As you can see, Redemption picked up.
Okay.
That's huge teamfight boost there for Biofrost, and 2 items for all their carries mostly.
Yeah, pretty big right now. CLG is in a really good spot. A lot of their important purchases have come through. Wiggly happy to face tank when his passive is still up. Gets the quick shield and heal, and Yuumi goes back over to her favorite carry in Stixxay.
The heal from Yuumi, Zoomies, by the way, is a large part missing health percentage. So
Yeah, amped based on how hurt you are.
exactly. So much more valuable on people who sustain a lot of poke. So it's that fine line that you juggle, getting super high value on low health targets versus not letting them low enough to be executed.
Yeah, of kind of interest to me is the AP ratio scales harder with missing health than the base heal does, so it actually is more of a save me tool late game and really spikes up there. So just kind of random fun Yuumi facts. Since it's my first time casting Yuumi, I get to kind of just rattle them off.
Glad you're having fun.
I am. This is actually pretty cool.
I think Biofrost is having fun too.
Yeah, he's doing great.
He's been able to constantly play offensive, throwing out the poke. He's landed most waves of the ultimate too that I've seen. This is probably the highest percentage of Yuumi waves I've seen land.
Sure.
Usually it's more difficult to keep people in place, but there's so much other CC on the team to set up as well that CLG have really been using it to full effectiveness. And I feel like right now it's going to be no different. They've got brush control once again. It's dangerous for 100 Thieves just dropping control wards around here to try and get some sort of vision for themselves, but CLG have an iron grip around Baron.
Yeah, they do. There's at least a decent power spike for Sligo. He's got double flat cleanse plus the Nashor's Tooth, so it's a pretty decent team fight here for him. Also with Leandry's done for some, that's actually pretty useful as well. So there's something to be said, but Bang gonna be slowed. Still a bit of sidestep the Boomerang Blade, and he'll be fine, but it's still CLG walking all the way through this jungle. Look at the vision, and it is just darkness. There is nothing in this jungle for 100 Thieves. They are pushed all the way out of their own jungle, and if at some point CLG want to start Baron, that's going to be unknown.
Yeah, I mean, you can see what they're doing right now. They're pushing up the 2 waves. Mid lane got pushed, top side got pushed, and then they pull back onto the Baron here to start it. Wow, 100 Thieves are dealing with those minions. They don't have much damage
Double
over there.
trinkets.
They actually did not commit Power of Evil, so the damage threat wasn't very quick.
Yeah. They baited out double trinket. Wiggly healing back up a little bit there with the honey fruit. And now here comes the hard engage looking for a slow. They're going to find Rumble. They're going to find the all-in. A stun towards the back line, and Bang gets up in the air. This time they will disengage. 100 Thieves stay alive. 3 ults burned on CLG's side, but Ruin and PoE still have theirs. PoE, though, is out of mana. He is going to be unable to participate, so he's got a recall here.
Yeah, I wonder if during this reset, at least they're getting the reset out of vision of 100 Thieves, because now they're leaving behind a lot of valuable vision around Baron, and 100 Thieves can move in during the reset to try and get themselves an opening and take care of that. Aphromoo on the Rakan is a great subject to try and go take out those wards. He can easily jump over the walls and has a lot of mobility to escape. So all the wards cleared out. That is a very big opening for 100 Thieves, you know, to try and buy themselves a little bit of defensive options here to alert themselves when CLG actually try and start it up once again.
All right, well, Biofrost knocks down one of the wards, puts his control ward down, but this time doesn't actually sweep out all of the pit. Wiggly will have to do those honors, but that's the rest of the vision removal until they can get a control ward down. So it's going to be a little while. CLG don't get own this pit or that top jungle. Starts with mid push. Sligo answers that one. And 100 Thieves have gotten enough vision back that they are not afraid of Baron anymore. So that was actually pretty good movement around the map. They have stopped this. They have slowed this down.
Yeah, one of the biggest objectives in the mid game after winning a team fight is moving over, clearing out all the control wards, you know, for the consecutive setup here. So very big that 100 Thieves didn't drop anyone in that team fight, and they're able to move in to get that during the reset from CLG, who in the early stages, game going at such a quick pace, really pushing it. Now they're going to get the Cloud Drake pretty much without any contest from 100 Thieves, who are pinned down to the Baron here. Can't really leave it around, and Stixxay will just pick it up himself.
Cloud Drake pick up, no big problem there. Double Cloud means move speed and get back and forth between mid lane, Baron pit, wherever else they want to go. Afro knocks on a control ward, mid lane pressure going back and forth here. Wave still cleared first by CLG, but Wiggly chasing down Aphromoo, pushing him out. Amazing waiting in the wings. Can they find an engage here? No, he's going to be going defensively.
Yeah, there's no damage behind him. You can see the recalls going off for CLG, so all of his teammates looking for the reset. I believe there must be some big item completions. Infinity Edge here.
That's big.
For Stixxay. He's got 3 item Sivir. This is fully online. That is your AoE team fight crits. Yep. That is going to be extremely difficult for 100 Thieves to deal with. They have to start a fight on someone and finish it very quickly before the DPS from Sivir can take effect.
And the same recall was Death Cap for Power of Evil. So both those giant carries got their single largest power spikes of the game. So certainly very difficult right now. 100 Thieves might have found their opening. Looking for the play. Big ult for Soligo. Does find one flash over the wall. Wiggly, he's going to stay alive. Another re-engage is beautiful. They find that crit. And CLG knocked down the mid laner. That goes right into Baron.
That was a 5v4. 100 Thieves now forced with the situation. Baron started up. Ruin split pushing bottom. Does have teleport. No vision on it. And they're quickly losing vision. No control ward left.
It is a flashless Jarvan. Redemption keeps the health bars alive on CLG's side. And at what point does 100 Thieves go for the attempt? The TP in for the Kennen now as well, but no one is marking Jarvan. No one's pushing him out of the pit just yet. It's PoE who walks forward, but Amazing goes farther and farther away. Rumble he gets to make the play. So the flash in for Ruin. They're trying to burn him down, and they will do so. This fight should begin, and it is. Another kill picked up, but now Ruin's got to be a bit careful. He needs the reinforcements, and they are now here looking for Sunday, and this is a flashless Rumble. He will die to the Shockwave, and CLG find 3 kills plus the Baron.
That was a great screen there from Ruin. On the cannon, jumps over to stun up Amazing, removes the chance of 100 Thieves Smite Steal. That means Baroned up CLG with all of their power spikes, 3 items on both carries, annihilate the turrets.
Beautiful stuff right there. 10-2 in kills and a 9,000 gold lead with 2 members still dead. They push him to the top lane. They've got a lot of damage here. Demolish could knock the turret down. The wave for auto attacks now instead. Looking for the roots, they find 1, and that could be enough to push away Aphromoo. He still gets away in time. Inhib falls, and before Sunday can even spawn, CLG are right back out the way they came in.
Yep, 3,500 gold lead already with the Baron buff, and that one just started. I think that play is probably going to be their ticket through to the Nexus. Let's take another look. You can tell Ruin, as soon as he caught sight of Amazing, immediately beeline straight for him. There's no way Amazing can get in there. Rumble Ultimate by Someday was used onto the Baron, but because that is consistent damage over time and not burst damage, it's very, very unlikely that steals Baron unless there's a big mistake from Wiggly. So CLG happily pick up the Baron buff after their extra kill and are able to now push it in. Top side's already been dealt with, so bottom side is the next target. And they are looking to start off summer with a victory.
This is looking very good. CLG convincing. Only 30 minutes in, and they are doing great things. 10K up. Baron still on for a minute 45. With an inhib down, there's a chance they can win during this buff. And we'll see what they can do with this one. Bottom lane tier 2 under fire. No one should really defend this one. Bang. Presses Q. Doesn't even hit a minion. They're waiting to stack up more of the waves so that mid can crash the same time as the bottom lane. And here it goes. A 2-pronged attack right now as top will also flood in a second afterwards. Not yet a slowness Ligo, but you can still see these attacks coming through. CLG going to move over to left-hand side as there are minions tanking up those aggro shots, but they will still play defensively. Mid lane down to half HP. Bot lane looking for a slow. They're going to find that one. Big damage on Bang. That is a good boomerang there as well. Stixxay back up to full HP with a heal. Another slow on, and Aphromoo really chunked out right there. That poke is menacing, and CLG take control of this one. Looking for another slow, pushing off 100 Thieves even further. And they're going to crack these inhibitors now. Bot lane is gone. Mid lane only has Amazing. He's by himself. He ults PoE to do what at all? He didn't have a team around him. That was the opposite of what his name says it is. And that is the inhibitors dropping. CLG still 49 seconds of Baron and an easy 5v4 to push in. This should be the Nexus. The turret's in front of them as the waves are getting cleared down. They're going to take their time. Ruin's going to grab another wave. They're going to push through top lane soon. Still attacks coming through. Still turrets falling. 31-30. One turret is gone. Somebody in the front line does have an ulti, but will there be any kind of an engage? Azir summons one. Will there even be defense? Second turret's going to fall. 100 Thieves still not fighting for their own structures. They're just simply walking back and letting it all fall. Still a bit directionless. A single knockup, but it means nothing. Ruin in the back line. Someday tries for one. They only get a single kill in the fountain. It is CLG walking all over 100 Thieves.
Complete domination from CLG from start to finish.
Yep.
They got Yuumi on display in the bottom lane. Biofrost definitely having fun with that one. A lot of high-value ultimates.
Yep.
And then Wiggly with the brush control on that Sejuani. No hesitation, immediate engages, and CLG take that early lead to the Nexus.
CLG, absolutely the better team here. And we talk about roster changes and which ones you believe and which ones you don't. I was happy with Ruin. He held up against Someday. That's a good mark to me.
Good Baron screen, good communication with the team. That's what you're looking for on day one.
The flash ult cannon over the wall, that was exactly the right play. That was smart. That was heads up. Amazing, the opposite for me. I thought there were a lot of huge mistakes out of him. His first blood was very silly. That endgame team fight, yeah, okay, they're down 10,000 gold. Maybe it doesn't matter, but that was a very silly engage to go for. Didn't even flash put his own Cataclysm. It was mechanically as well as decision-making a fairly lackluster play. So that's a rough one. 100 Thieves. It's only one game, but it's so disheartening to see that kind of result.
Yeah, I think the reason you're feeling that way is because of last split, right? So
yeah.
You have it kind of rolling into this split already.
It's like still more of the same.
Yeah, but they did make changes, and we'll continue to monitor throughout this split to see how they fare.
Yep, 17 more to play for both these squads. We'll see what it looks like, and now we're going to send it down to Riv, standing by with Biofrost for an interview.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Great cast on the day. And yes, a victory for CounterLogic Gaming over 100 Thieves to start the summer split. Biofrost, I have to ask you, teams love to start and test the waters in the beginning of the season. Your team chooses Yuumi as it's finally up. We all know she's very good. Why is this good for CounterLogic Gaming?
For Yuumi?
Yeah.
I think Yumi's really, really broken. If she gets ahead, she pretty much just destroys every lane. I think the only issue of Yuumi is that if you get behind, it's really hard to come back because she doesn't have like good comeback material, but she's insanely broken.
So what you're saying is we're probably going to see more Yuumi.
Probably.
All right, and looking at what happened, changes happen every season. This one for CLG, a big change, which actually makes you and Stixxay the longest standing members on the team now. Talk to me a little bit about both Darshan leaving the team for CounterLogic Gaming and now slotting Ruin into that top lane and how everything's impacted the org.
Yeah, I think when people look at CLG, they don't see any of the long-standing members anymore. Like before we had Darshan, and now Aphromoo is also gone. So it's like kind of weird to think that me and Stixxay are like the longest standing members of CLG. So now we have Ruin. He's like a really calm guy. Like in team fights, when we're just going on someone, he's like, I'm going. And it's like really different from Darshan because when Darshan kills someone, like you can even see in the player cams, he's just like popping off. So it's definitely different.
Do you feel like it's going to be a play style that CLG can work off of? Is there a new dynamic that CLG is going to bring to the table for this summer? Final question.
Yeah, I think our identity right now is that we play off of like strong lanes and off of lane prio. I don't really think that we have like a specific thing that we're just going for every game, but we're also like identifying our own strategy. We went to Korea for a boot camp and we got to play against like a lot of good teams. So we got a lot of strategies from them as well.
Well, one win, hope for the fans. We'll see what happens throughout the rest of the season. Congrats on the win. We're going to throw it to the State Farm analyst desk to break down that game.
Thank you very much, Riv. Big victory here for CLG over 100 Thieves. Again, bringing in Ruin from the TCL. And, of course, we got the first Yuumi, as was mentioned. And it was another utter smash here for the side of CLG.
Business as usual, continuing to take advantage of Stixxay and Biofrost's synergy in the bottom lane against bottom lane in 100 Thieves that has yet to find their footing.
I think I really like what I saw out of this comp. The Sivir speed up with the Orianna. She's still a good mid to late game team fighter, but she can spike on 2 items depending on the build path that you go. So I like that combination, as well as a strong top side of the map. That team fights very well. Pretty magic damage heavy, but all things considered, it's still a really strong composition. on the flip side for 100 Thieves, they're going for the Azir again. The Rumble is kind of a surprise for someday. Like, I know he has a decent Rumble, but it felt like I would have rather seen something with a little more agency and less all in on team fight, but you have to scale to get there first.
A little bit of disaster, rather, on the side of 100 Thieves. But as was mentioned by Biofrost, Yuumi, he feels, is quite a broken champion. We just got our first look of Yuumi here in the LCS. So let's roll through some of her highlights in the POV.
So this is really, just a really nice chain of crowd control because Afro can't dodge out of the Sejuani ultimate and then immediately gets changed into the Yuumi ultimate. And this, again, is another play into the bottom lane. Look at what she does. Immediately gets the poke onto Bang, and then surprise, everybody else is here for the party, locks down Afro, and he's actually the only one that ends up going down. His Power of Evil then gets collapsed on, but those are just minor things for CLG. Their game was completely in their hands.
Yeah, I mean, there was one early gank that forced them to blow summoners, but with teleport that the AD carry is often taking in that lane, you bounce back from ganks pretty easily, and then you have this really extended chase down power with how long range that Q is.
Yep.
And so I think, you know, like Biofrost was saying, you'll probably see a lot more Yuumi. She's pretty strong, and like, the thing you need to realize, people are not playing perfectly with her yet. People are still learning the champion. She is fairly complex, despite the Twitch, Reddit kind of meme of like, yeah, you sit on a champion, you attach, and you AFK. It's like, no, you don't.
Let me remind you that when Thresh and Tom Cantrell, it took like half a year for people to think that they were not
fully understand.
Just above playable. People thought they were unplayable. They were that bad. And then after a while, you understood why they were so
Just
good.
Aatrox from last year. Everyone was memeing release Aatrox when he got the rework with his Q, and everyone's like, oh, it's garbage champ.
Yeah. But you could really see what Biofrost was talking about, how he feels that when she's ahead, that's when she becomes terrifying. I mean, like most champions ahead, obviously they look good, but with her in particular, from ahead, that harass, the slow coming out, and then comboed with champions like Sivir for the chase down potential is very scary.
And the thing that she should struggle with is like getting vision on her own, doing roams, and kind of contesting vision against another support who can potentially engage on her. Like, these kinds of things you always kind of need a second person with. And so when you're not so far ahead, you would assume that these struggles might come out. So this was pretty much the ideal Yuumi, you know, debut performance where everything's going in her favor.
Because it's oppressive, right? You're so far ahead, you just shoot out a Q and they can't jump on you because you're ahead, and therefore the poke consistently sticks, and then you can just go in and get the party started. It's a really powerful champ if you can land that skill shot.
Well, that's just our first look. Tune in tomorrow to Countdown Where Crumbs. We'll do a full Yuumi breakdown for us. Hopefully we'll see a little bit more of her in our last two games of the day to get some more of a sample size, because it really was just a one-game sample size here.
Yeah, and that was a sample size that I would not like to try again for 100 Thieves. I want to see them do something different. I know that Amazing just got one game, but there were some things in that game that just did not give me too much.
That's a fresh off the airplane.
No,
I'm coming from
come
custom.
on. Flashing in your own Cataclysm and not having a single, like, I think there are more things that this team could have done. Like, you're a new team, you can experiment. Well, be a little looser and go out with grace.
To your point about what you want to see in the pregame, you're talking about fun. They seem pretty devoid of fun yet again from 100 Thieves. So, like, you wanted to see a little more, like, hey, you know, we're not that well practiced. Maurice is just off the plane. Let's go out and, like, troll around a little bit. The same way you saw the FlyQuest guys laughing in their game, despite it being a hard-fought, close game. You could see there was, like, joy and happiness in the game.
I mean, it is two very different tales here for teams that struggled in the spring split, made a very pointed change with the idea that this would be all that was needed to unlock whatever potential they see within their rosters. And I think, as Kobe mentioned on the desk, some of what kind of stings and stays with us is the expectation of the 100 Thieves roster from before spring, that they should have been contesting for a top 3 anyway. Then they finish 10th, only make one change, and still look to have not improved so much. Again, it's one game sample size. No one should condemn this team off of one game, but that's what kind of makes it feel bad.
It's true. I do have the aftertaste from spring. However, I think that if you're at any point in the LCS, you're playing and you're not having fun, just take a look at yourself and say, I'm playing video games for a living. You're having a really good time.
Yeah, come on, let's get some smiles on the faces. But for CLG, they've got some big smiles on their faces, I'm sure, as they pick up their first victory of the summer split. Optic Gaming and Clutch square off when we return. If you want to track the jungle pathing between Meteos and Lyra, check out ProView, available at watch.lelesports.com, so you can catch every gank as the pros see them with stats to back it up. Check that out and meet us back here after the break.